Hi, and welcome back to Rowdy Sports. This is day 5 match preview of the World Cup. We had a great day 4. We'll get in, you'll see that in another video. But day 5 have a couple of big games. Maybe not as big as day 4, but still pretty good games. We have Spain versus Cabo Verde, Saudi Arabia versus Uruguay, Belgium versus Egypt, and Iran versus New Zealand. So let's start off with Spain versus Cabo Verde. This is the second meeting of these two countries. This will be played in Atlanta, Georgia. Spain have one of the strongest teams in the tournament, power ranking number 2 versus a power ranking of number 42 by Cabo Verde. 40 teams separate these two. This should not be a very good game for Cabo Verde. I imagine they will lose. They may score a goal because it's the World Cup, but realistically, I'm predicting a big loss here, 4-0. I never predict a scoreline like that, but I just don't see Cabo Verde even holding a candle to Spain in this fight whatsoever. Let's talk about some of the players that we're really going to look at here. Oyarzabal. Maybe I can't say his name. Either way, he's scoring a goal tomorrow, especially if he's starting up top. There's speculation that Ferran Torres will take the top number 9 spot, but realistically, Oyarzabal, you say the word, or write it in the chat or whatever, and let me know. I think that he gets a goal tomorrow. I mean, he's a really talented player, really, really quick on the ball, really great heads-up player. So even if he doesn't get the goal, he has a really high potential for an assist. If you're looking to bet, he is the person that you want to bet on the most in this Spanish team, especially for goals, assists, and overall fantasy output. Players like David Raya, I think really should start this game for the Spanish team. I mean, 3 golden gloves. If anybody else starts in goal for Spain, I don't believe that their power ranking should be number 2. Players that are notable that could come off the bench, Mikel Merino, obviously. Players that are going to be starting in the midfield that I think will dictate the tempo, Pedri, Rodri. I think Pedri will probably take... It kind of matters who else is playing alongside him in the midfield. If like Gavi is playing in the midfield with him, if Fabian Ruiz is playing in the midfield, they may point hawk and take a lot of the set pieces. I think Fabian Ruiz might take more set pieces than Pedri. I think Pedri takes them more in the middle of the field, where Fabian Ruiz will probably take them from the corners. It's possible that Pedri takes them all, though. So that's a player to be betting on and looking at. Moving on to Cabo Verde, Livramento up top is going to have a tough day against this Spanish defense, especially with Rodri in the midfield. It's just really hard for me to see them, the Verdes doing something special here. I know that we've seen in these past couple of days players, getting caught out and goals going in from countries that are like a higher number on the FIFA power list, but I just don't see it with Cabo Verde. I just don't see it today. I just don't see it. So they're going to look for like Montero in the midfield to set up for counterattacks, and Volza, their goalkeeper, has got to have the biggest hands in the world tomorrow. Period. He just gotta. Moving on to Saudi Arabia versus Uruguay. This is the 4th meeting between these two countries. Uruguay beat the Sauds in the last meeting in the 2018 World Cup, the last time they met in the 2018 World Cup in a 1-0 win in the group stages. Uruguay is 17 on the power scale, where Saudi Arabia is 38. It's going to be a tough game for the Sauds. It's going to be in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium. I'm predicting a 2-0 win for Uruguay here. I think they don't exactly have the firepower that they had in 2018 when they had Luis Suarez playing up top, but I think Darwin Nunez can get it done. Players like Federico Valverde are going to need to dictate the tempo in this game. Both Araujos are going to have big games. I mean, Ronald Araujo is going to have a big game in defense, and then I think it's Maxi Araujo, plays for Sporting Lisbon, plays out on the left, revolves between a left back and a left midfielder. I think he's probably playing more in a midfield role for the national team here. he's going to have to, these players are going to have big games. The defense especially is going to have a big game, especially against the Saudi Arabians. They can sneak a goal in. I believe that. But I do believe if they can keep it together, they'll get a 2-0 win here and probably, a big upset to the Saudi Arabians, considering they really need this win to move on through their group. So let's look at some of the players. Darwin Nunez, probably your biggest goal threat. Valverde, if you're betting for like individual props, I'd pick him for a shot on target or shots taken. Same thing for Maxi Araujo. A sneaky assist maybe, but you better get really great odds, like times 3+ for your bet if you're betting on him. Moving on to the Saudi Arabians, Al Bakharin. I'm going to butcher a lot of these Middle Eastern names. It just is what it is. Al Bakharin, striker for the Sauds, is probably going to be their best bet at a goal here. He's just going to have to probably wreak havoc in that defense. And the defense for Uruguay does have it. You know what? We're going to call it a 2-1. We're going to say that Saudi Arabia do sneak in a goal here. I'm going to say that they get something either from a set piece off of a corner or just a absolute bundled mistake at the back. Musab Al-Jawari? I don't think I got that one right either. He takes a majority of the set pieces for Saudi Arabia, though. He's going to probably try to dictate the tempo and control the midfield for them. Probably not going to happen with a star-studded cast that Uruguay does have in the midfield. But it's entirely probable that he can do something like, steal a pass in the middle of the field and then set up an attack for Al-Burakak. Yep, nailed that. Moving on to Belgium versus Egypt. This is the 5th meeting between these two countries, one of the most in the group stages. Last meeting, the Egyptians bested the Waffles by 2-1 in an international friendly. This game will be taking place in Lumen Field, Seattle. The FIFA power rankings between them has Belgium at 12 and Egypt at 35, which I think is really harsh for Egypt considering they have such a strong attack, which they really, really do. Let's see. Let's go over some players from Belgium first. We got Charles de Cantelare. CDK is really, really a great player. If he starts up top over Lukaku, it will just be because of age, nothing else. If Lukaku starts, you bet on Lukaku to score, for sure. He is an absolute unit of a person. Other players that I would look to make bets on, especially in fantasy, are Jeremy Doku and Leo Trossard. They both have the ability to get assists in. If you're picking up prop bets, you definitely want to take a prop bet on either of them to just get a shot on target. It will pay. It absolutely will pay. They will get at least one shot off, especially against Egypt. It may not go in, but they'll get that shot on target. And for the big one, KDB, Kevin De Bruyne, you're going to want to bet on this individual no matter what anything says. I mean, maybe not for a goal, definitely assist. Definitely for fantasy, he's going to yield you more fantasy points than players that even score. He'll probably get between 12 and 20 fantasy points for this game alone, and he doesn't even need to score a goal to do that. Players like Amadou Onana, who's in the midfield, who's going to have to boss the midfield, will be prevalent in this game, especially with an aggressive team like Egypt. Players like Courtois, the goalie for Belgium, he's going to have an outstanding game because the people that are shooting against him, they're shooters, for sure. They're target men. They're goal scorers. They win the ball. It's going to be a tough game. This is going to probably be one of the tougher games in this tournament. And honestly, my prediction is maybe Belgium just do it 2-1. Maybe it's gonna be a slow. It's gonna feel like a slow game. I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna watch this. It's gonna feel like a slow game, but to an experienced viewer, it's gonna be a battle. So players to look for on the Egypt side. Obviously, we're gonna start with Mo Salah. He is, they label him as the king of Egypt. You know what I mean? He is an incredible player. He's won African Player of the Year a couple of times. Baller for Liverpool. I don't care what anybody says about his last season. He's still a fucking baller. Then you're going to move on to players like Omar Marmoush. Also, really incredible goal scorer. He's the backup striker for Erling Haaland at City. May not have the glitz and glam that Erling Haaland can produce, but still very deadly. He is a goal scorer, and he's fast. Look for number 22. That's what he's wearing. I would bet on him to score, but this Belgium defense is pretty powerful. If Omar Marmoush isn't starting, you'll probably get Hamza up top, and Hamza is just an outright number 9. He's just a big target man. I think he's like 6'4", 6'5", and he will bully his way into the box. Let's see. We're moving on to Iran versus New Zealand. I don't have a tremendous amount about this because I don't know a lot of these players, so we're just gonna, this is kind of just like a blind power ranking kind of bet on the players that I kind of know. I'm personally not going to be betting on this game. I have a bet on this game, but I'm not going to be heavily going after it. So this is the third meeting between these two countries. They haven't met in over 22 years. It was the last time they faced off. FIFA Power Rankings have New Zealand at 45th and Iran at 33. I'm not sure I wholeheartedly agree with these power rankings, but they are what FIFA are saying the power rankings are. So let's squash that right there. This game will be played at SoFi in Los Angeles. I'm predicting a 1-1 draw here, and I'm predicting kind of a boring game. This is probably one to miss if you don't really like this sport or, yep, this is probably one to miss. It is what it is. The players that I would look at are Just and Chris Wood. Just is going to be playing off the left wing. He is he's a fast-running left winger that can just drive the ball in. He had 7 assists his last season, 38 games played, 38 games fully played, not just like he was playing in 38 games. He played 38 games last season. Chris Wood, coming off a big injury, finished the season in a good place, Nottingham Forest with a trophy. Do I think that Chris Wood could get a goal here? Yeah, definitely. I definitely think that he could boss this back line into bullying a goal into the box. He also has the ability to launch a missile. You know what I mean? So, don't sleep on him. If he's super cheap in a fantasy draft, pick him up. It might not be a bad buy down, but if he's expensive in your fantasy draft, he's one to miss for sure. It doesn't matter how many goals he scored in the 24-25 season, which I think was 20 plus in the Premier League, which is very good. Don't get me wrong. But, he's coming off of a big injury. He didn't play a majority of last season. It is what it is. And for Iran, I'm really only looking at 2 people here, and one of them is Amir Hossein Zadeh. Amir Hossein. I don't think I got that one right. I definitely got the Amir part right. He is the outright striker and number 9 for Iran, and honestly, he's a big boy. You could see him scoring a goal against the New Zealanders. Kiwis? I don't think you can call people Kiwis, can you? Doesn't matter. It's in the video. I believe that he could steal a goal here. This is what I predict, that if anything's going in, it's going to be from a set piece. Someone's going to not mark somebody. A big defender might score with a header, or one of the strikers might pull up in the box. I don't know that a single goal is going to come from open play in this game. And if it does, if they do, they're gonna come. Like, you know what I mean? There's gonna be like 4 goals in this game. It's gonna be like a 2-2 draw or something like that. Ultimately, I pick a 1-1 draw for this game. Either way, I think tomorrow should be fun to watch, but there are some games that may be a little snoozy, not gonna lie. A lot of 2-1s, maybe 1-1s, but ultimately we're looking at that Spain game at the beginning of the day. We want to see if Spain starts strong. That has been a match preview. Stay tuned for the next one.